Welcome to Black Bloggers Connect feature spotlight on Black bloggers and entrepreneurs. And today we have with us Kimberly Gauthier, and her two blogs are Keep the Tail Wagging and adventuresinblogging.net. So Kimberly, could you give us a little background about yourself?
Certainly. I am a Pacific Northwesterner, born and bred. And I actually loved the idea of being a writer when I was in high school. And my mom told me it wasn't practical and I needed to get a business degree, and I'm grateful that she did. So I went ahead and I graduated from a local university. And lately, probably in 2009, was when I first, I knew about blogging, but my experience with blogging was Perez Hilton. But someone told me, oh, you should blog. And so I went online to look into it, and I signed up, got a website, and I started just blogging about whatever. And I think I spent 2 years just learning about blogging. And last year was when I really decided that I want to see if I can try and build a business. The rumor out there is that it's next to impossible to build a profitable business with just blogging. But I actually don't think that's really true, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job of building a business. Of course, I don't just blog. I write my two blogs. I have affiliate marketing, which means I gain commissions on things that people buy through my sites. And I also am a Life's Abundance rep. That's a pet food and products company. And so I promote those products through Keep the Tail Wagging.
Which blog did you start first and why?
Well, actually, my first blog is Through the Lens of Kimberly Gauthier, which is basically a photography tips blog, but I've turned it more into a personal blog. I've built a really big community, and I use that blog. That's like the blog that I cut my teeth on, and I learned a lot from that blog. The ones that I truly monetize are adventuresinblogging.net, which I started in September of 2011, and Keep the Tail Wagging, which launched January 2012. Through the Lens is over a year old.
So what were some of the main things that you learned from your blog Through the Lens?
Basically, that blog was such a learning experience, and it feeds so many articles and adventures in blogging. But I learned that you shouldn't buy likes or comments. I would join contests where if I donated, a few dollars to the contest, part of the contest rules was that everyone who entered would have to come and like my page on Facebook or come and follow my blog. Well, that was great for the numbers, and when affiliates look at my blog, they think, wow, she has all these subscribers, but they're not genuine because these people, they come and they like you, but they're there for the contest, and then after it's over, they either unlike you or they just never visit your site again. So I have high numbers on that blog, but I don't have the interaction. And one of the things that I try and warn people about is that when you have a really large increase in a fan base, you ultimately get penalized because, for instance, on Facebook, they see that you're getting all these new people liking you, but they're looking for the corresponding interactions to increase too. So if your likes go up by 500 people, but only 20 people are interacting, you're not very important in their eyes. So you'll fall down on the stream. I look at it as similar to the Google page rank. You're just not up there, and you're not going to get the post that you need. And with Adventures in Blogging and Keep the Tail Wagging, I was very smart in that I actually went and found an audience that would like what I was writing about. And I organically built great communities. In fact, with Keep the Tail Wagging, it was launched January 2012. Before the end of 2 months, I had a page rank of 2, and I had over 1,000 fans on Facebook, and they're very active.
Wow. And how did you go about seeking that fan base? Because I know for a lot of people, they get started blogging, and it's hard for them to find their niche, and then they're not sure how to reach out to those people who would be a part of their niche public. So how did you go about doing that?
I did several things. One thing that I did, I'm going to just discuss Keep the Tail Wagging. One thing that I did is I went over to LinkedIn. I really love LinkedIn's groups. I think it's a really great system that they have over there. And I joined dog lover groups and started connecting with these people, and it was a genuine interest for me. And to step back from that, whenever anyone's blogging, I know that a lot of people will just start because they want to make money. I really think that a key component is that you start with something that you're passionate about. And I'm very passionate about our dogs and our cats. So it was really easy for people to feel that passion and know that I was genuine. I joined these communities and started connecting with people, and they came over to my site and checked me out and liked my Facebook page, and they would then share information with other people. People would see that, oh, they liked Keep the Tail Wagging. Let me go over here and see what this page is about. And so there is one venue. Another one was just promoting it on Twitter. I did press releases where I went on Fiverr and paid $5 for people to submit press releases about Keep the Tail Wagging to get the word out there. And I also made a limited budget on Facebook. I did $50 for a budget to promote a like ad for people to come over to my site. And one thing I learned from actually Facebook for Dummies was to write something that's really clever to catch people's eye. And the thing that I wrote, because this is what inspired Keep the Tail Wagging, was, are you tired of all these commercials that's 10 minutes of, tortured and abused animals? It's like, don't you want to read about the happy endings? And tons of people came over to my site because they related to that, because they were just sort of like, I respect what the ASPCA is doing. I love them. I want to support them, but those commercials break my heart. And before my blog was launched, I had about 30 articles already written and scheduled, and all of them were, I gathered stories from other dog owners about, their dog rescues and how their dogs are doing today, and just great stories. I got dog food recipes, training tips, just all kinds of things. So my blog was ready to go, and it looked like it had been there forever, the first week of January. And so that was something that really helped me with the success that's for the blog.
Definitely, because you don't want to send people to a brand new blog and it has like one blog post on it or just a couple, and then people leave and then they kind of forget about it. It's good to have that content where people can keep going back and just keep reading more and more.
Mm-hmm,
so,
exactly.
And for those who don't know what Fiverr is a website that you can go to and pay someone $5 to complete a task. Or you can become that person on the other end and say, oh, I'll submit press releases, or I'll be your virtual assistant for $5. So that is a really great resource. Press releases as well are really good resources. Which site do you use to distribute your press releases?
I actually let the Fiverr person deal with it.
Okay.
And yeah, because there's one person on there that I don't have the information in front of me, but I just found a person on there that had really good rankings, and people really appreciated what they were doing. And I try to look for people who are in the U.S., but that's only because I'm not 100% sure, if I work with someone that's on the other side of the globe, are the press releases going to be in their country, or is it going to reach our country? And my country is where my customer base is. So I try to work with people in the U.S. because that is where my customer base is. But I just have those two criteria, really good ratings and someone from the U.S. And I've worked with people to I had someone create a logo. It wasn't a logo. It was just a temporary logo until my designer had time to do my real logo. But it's prompted a really good blog post on adventuresinblogging.net about using a logo from Fiverr versus hiring a professional. But I also use Fiverr. For instance, when you start a new blog, you're going to want to get it into all the blog directories, and that is a tedious task. So I paid someone $5 to submit my blogs to all the blog directories, and they sent me all the links back to show me, and I was able to verify that, yep, they were in there. So it's a handy site.
To switch gears a little bit, since you've built up your following through all of these different resources, what has been your most popular blog post?
Oh, that's a good question. I think most recently, I'm trying to think of what has been my most popular blog post. Most recently, over on adventuresinblogging.net, it probably was the blog. I wrote 2 blog posts, one about hiring a designer on Fiverr to create a logo, and a follow-up showing the difference between the logo that I got from Fiverr and then the logo that I got from my actual designer. and what I felt was better and the differences. Because, with Fiverr, you're just basically saying, this is what my logo is. Mine is it was just keep the tail wagging, and I wanted a dog paw. And these are the colors that I like. That's all they really give you. Whereas with my designer, we talked about my branding, the colors, and what the colors signified to me and things like that. So she came up with a logo that was stunning, and I loved it. Plus, we've worked together for a really long time, so she knows me really well. She knows my personality. So she and I don't really have to delve into tons of revisions and things like that. She usually nails it right the first or second time she gets me something. And it really, people could see the difference that, yeah, you can. I mean, if you can't afford to hire a designer, $5 is great until you can. But I do believe that if you're taking blogging seriously, whether or not you're monetizing it or not, if your blog is serious for you, I think that, investing in branding is a really great idea. And I got comments from designers and from bloggers. People weighed in on the information. And actually out of that post, because one of the designers who's someone that I've worked with in the past, she took me to task on it. She was really offended that I went to Fiverr. And from there, I wrote a post about how being a blogger, you have to have a thick skin. And you have to take the good with the bad. And people aren't going to be happy with every single thing you write. And you need to not take it personally and look at everything as a learning experience. And even from that, that designer wrote to me and told me, I have so much respect for you because of how you handled, the comment that she left. And I appreciated that as well. But again, a lot of people responded to that post because it was a learning thing where, no one wants to. We put ourselves out here on social media, and sometimes, especially I think as women, we want to do our best and we want to please everybody, and it can hurt when someone who doesn't know us criticizes us. And I just think it's important for everyone to remember that, no, these people don't know us. So they can say whatever they want. I mean, unless they're being abusive, take a step back and look at their feedback and see what they're trying to say from you and see, what you can learn from it. And I shared my response to show my followers, this is how I responded to this person. And people were like, oh, okay. That, and they learned something from that. So I think it was a series of blog posts, 3 of them total, but they were really popular for probably a month on my site.
What keeps you going, and what keeps you going despite blogger fatigue?
I think it's really important to have a schedule. It's funny, my day job is as an accountant, and my favorite hobby is photography. So people are always asking me if I'm left brain or right brain, and I think I'm right in the middle. So I appreciate a schedule. I appreciate a to-do list, but I also want to not to have my creativity hampered. So I'm actually standing in my home office right now, and I went and got 3 of those calendars that you stick to the wall, and you can just fill out and change the dates on the calendars. And I write on there what I plan to do for the next 3 months. And then during the week, Monday through Friday, I use my commute to and from work to catch up on social media interactions and reading other people's blog posts. And Sunday, today, is my work day. So I, draft up blog posts and get them scheduled for the upcoming week. And I try and not work during the evenings during the week, and I try and leave most of Saturday available so I'm hanging out with my family and basically enjoying some much-needed downtime. But by having a schedule and knowing what I expect of myself, it really keeps me from getting frustrated. I usually only get frustrated when I try and veer away from my schedule. And I don't recommend everyone follow my schedule, but, look at your week and see when you can fit in everything that you do. I mean, you don't have to be married to these times, but sometimes just having a game plan that you can bounce around in just makes it a little more less, stressful and keeps you on track.
With so many changes going on online and in social media, where do you see the future of blogging going?
Actually, I'm really curious because every now and then I see an article come through that says blogging is dead, blogging is over. I know that there's a disconnect between some people in marketing who feel that companies who use bloggers to market their products aren't using professionals. And so it always seems like this is something that's going to go away, but I actually think it's going to continue growing simply because people like being heard. And I mean, the reason why I started my blog was just to do something for fun. It was something that I've always wanted to be a photographer. I love photography, and I thought it would be fun to do. And when I realized that, wow, this is something that I can actually build into a business, it, really got me going. And I think I read a couple weeks ago that there are 1 billion blogs out there, and there are new ones coming up each day. And, I mean, a lot of people don't keep up with it, and they drop away. But I think those of us who are really passionate about it, we're building communities, we're helping each other, we're supporting each other. And I honestly think that there is plenty of money out there for all of us, plenty of opportunities out there for all of us. It's just a matter of how much you're going to put into it and how far you want to go with it. If you want it to be something that just gives you a little side income or something that actually supports your lifestyle, it's up to you. But I don't think that there's anything that's holding anyone back from making this a success. And I honestly think that this is a new way of things being. There's so many small companies out there that, I get contacted on Facebook all the time from local companies who are like, do I need a Facebook page? And it's like, yeah. And then they don't know what to do with that Facebook page. But this is the way it is. We're no longer putting our ad in a phone book. We're putting it on Facebook. And this is just the new world order is social media. And I think we're having fun connecting with people in Brazil and Singapore and London and making these contacts and friends and supporting each other and building businesses online. I mean, with my Life's Abundance business, most of my clients are on the East Coast. They're not local. So it is a really awesome opportunity for anyone who, whether you're a small business and you're considering adding a blog, or if you're a blogger who wants to become a small business, this isn't going away. And there's plenty of time for you to do it. It's just a matter of you finding the tools that will help you and a process that will work for you.
Definitely. And do you think that Pinterest is like an emerging social media mechanism that can be helpful as well?
Oh, absolutely. I love Pinterest. I don't spend as much time on it as I should, only because it can get pretty addictive going through all those pictures and seeing everything. But I've started, with I actually have an article coming out, I believe, sometime next week about my social media strategy. And one of the things that I do is after I write a blog post, my blogs are automatically fed to Facebook and Twitter, but I need to add them to LinkedIn and Google+. And I also go to Pinterest, and I pin my pictures on there with a blurb about the article and a link to the site. And I do get traffic from there, and it's a really great tool. And it's fun. I have a board that's basically my dream home office. And people like that. And I have one about shoes. I have one that's the color of pink, and it's a lot of images of pink things. I have one that's just dogs and one that's just cats. And, it's a fun tool, and it's a really great way to promote yourself. And even if you don't spend a ton of time on a lot of these sites, because there's a lot out there, and I think it's important for people, especially when you're new, to pick two, like Facebook and Twitter, to really build your community and stuff, and then slowly add on other communities as you find the time. But with Pinterest, it's just so important just to get yourself out there so that someone can see what you're doing, because it's a huge world. And just imagine, it used to be that our customer base was going to be within a 50-mile radius. Now it's around the globe. So whether the customers are just readers who are reading what you're writing, or they're actually going to buy something from you, don't miss out on really great opportunities. Check out sites. Not all sites will be for everyone. Not everyone has jumped on the Google Plus bandwagon. There are people out there that still don't like Facebook. But, everyone, there's something out there for everyone. And, go ahead and give it a try. And if you're not sure, ask someone, because that's what's another thing that's so great about social media is that there's free advice, really good advice out there everywhere. I wouldn't have gotten as far as I've come without the people who are willing to either talk with me on phone or Skype or via email and help me work out a problem with my blogs. It's been a really great community.
Yes, especially through LinkedIn, I found that you can go on there, ask a question, and you'll get 20 responses in a day to help you with whatever you need. So we shouldn't be afraid to ask any questions, because there's going to be someone out there that's willing to give you that advice and willing to give it for free, because it's really like in the online world, you are an online community, especially among bloggers. There's that kind of camaraderie that's there where you want to help each other and you really want to see each other advance. So that being said, I have one more question for you, and you have given so much great advice through the course of this interview, but I just wanted to know, what would be your main tip for any beginning or even advanced bloggers out there? What would you say to them to help them keep going and help them build a better blog?
Well, I have two. So for anyone who is considering starting blogging or have started blogging, I tell them to write 20 to 30 articles. And if you can come up with 20 to 30 ideas on things to write about, then you'll have a better shot of actually keeping it up. Because that's the hardest part in the beginning, is keeping it up, because you get so discouraged. Avoid Google Analytics. Definitely add it to your site, but do not look at it on a daily basis. Once a week is fine, because that is what gets you down. You're not seeing the comments. You're not seeing the shares. But, you have to understand that that stuff comes over time, and you need to figure out your audience and figure out what they want to hear from you and figure out your own community, and you need to give yourself the time to do that and enjoy it. For people who are already blogging and are, wanting to do something better, I recommend that they check out the resources out there. There are so many really great resources. There's, 31 days to build a better blog. I did that in 2011, and it was fantastic. It really helped me take a step back and look at my blog differently. There's also great webinars that are free, that are offered all the time, things about, the new Facebook changes. There are tons of webinars going on right now. And I tell people, go into Google Alerts and set up alerts. Set up alerts on the topics that you like to discuss, things that you're interested in. Set up alerts for, free Facebook webinar if that's something that you're interested in. That way Google sends it to your email and lets you know when this stuff is available so you can go and check it out.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. You've provided a lot of great advice that I'm sure that the bloggers of BlackBloggersConnect.com will really appreciate. And I really would encourage anyone to check out Kimberly's blogs at keepthetailwagging.com and adventuresandblogging.net. And what is your Twitter tag as well?
It's KG, as in Goober, _photography.
Definitely follow her on Twitter as well. And I look forward to reading a lot more from you and hearing a lot more from you in the future. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the time.